Here to Karibuni.
Yeah, so Trinity, welcome to Karibuni.
Thanks, Jen.
So, Trinity plays a lot of African jazz, and he just came in from Botswana. He moved to Canada from Botswana just recently.
And
yes, you're right.
We're very happy to have you here with us, and especially at Karibuni. And yeah, Joanne, the music, we've got a track lined up, but maybe he could tell us a little bit about his inspiration or his music or something he'd like to tell us about himself.
Yeah, first let me start by saying hello to CIUT listeners, all Africans living in Canada, all Canadians, and, Botswana who are living here in Canada. As I have arrived, from my country, and I'm currently living here in Toronto, Canada, as an African jazz artist from Botswana. My inspiration comes from my belief. My belief is an African child who has been called into the music industry. I've been inspired by my beliefs from where I come from. I come from Botswana, from a small village called Bobonung, where we use music as a form of meditation to our ancestors.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Healing music.
Yeah.
And can we hear a little bit do you speak your traditional language? Could we hear a little bit? Could you welcome people in your language?
Yeah. Ke rata go gore ke re dumelang batho botlhe ba ba nnang mo Canada, dumelang Batswana ba ba nnang mo Canada, ke be ke dumedise le maAfrika otlhe a mante a mmala wa sebilo.
Wow, that's a beautiful language.
It is a beautiful language. Is it a large group of people in that area? Are you a large part of the population of Botswana?
Botswana is quite small populated. It's 1.7 million, the population size, the whole country. Quite small if you compare it with a country like Canada. Yeah, it's quite small.
Right. And
so, what language was that that you just spoke?
The language is called Setswana, derived from the word Botswana.
Setswana.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering also if you could tell us a little bit about the traditional music in your place. What instruments are generally used? I know that you're a jazz artist and you've kind of incorporated not just traditional music but a lot of contemporary stuff within your music. But what about getting back to traditions there? What are the typical instruments that are used? Because Botswana music we don't hear often here in Canada. And, it's a way for listeners of Karibuni who don't hear it that often to hear a little bit about what's going on over there traditionally and what type of instruments are utilized.
Basically, traditional music originates from a certain group of people, like society called the San in Botswana. Most of the instruments used is the traditional drums, and then we use more of our hands, the clapping of hands.
And rattles and things, right?
Yeah, we clap hands more, and then we incorporate the traditional drums, and then we make up a song. Mm-hmm. Traditional Botswana music.
Like folk
and then
tales.
The vocals.
Mm-hmm. And you're mentioning the San people. Those, of course, are people that live in the Kalahari, and I know that they've been displaced quite a lot. We had a visitor here about 3 months ago, a San from the Kalahari, who came here, and we interviewed him also here on Karibuni, and he spoke very quite well about the situation over there. And I know that he himself is not a musician, but it is wonderful to have a musician here who can speak of different types of music and styles. Now, as a contemporary artist, who do you like? Who do you listen to, or who inspired you?
I listen to quite a number of artists, to try and be versatile as a musician. I can't be, focused on one thing. I listen to a lady who inspired me. She has passed away. She's called Mpho from...
Absolutely, from South Africa. She's one of my favorite singers from there, too.
She inspired me so well. Before I recorded my album, I used to listen to her maybe 5 times a day, because she has this essence in her, and she has this force of meditation as an artist. I loved it, and I still do.
She has a very powerful voice, and she also
voice.
has a lot to say in her music, which she's very conscious, as she was. Unfortunately, she did pass away, and that was last year, I believe.
Yeah, it was
just recently. Yeah, we play her quite a bit here on Karabuni, and I am very fond of her also.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. Now, you have a track here lined up, and this is from an album that you released recently, I believe in Botswana. Tell us about the name of the album, and tell us about the song that we're about to hear.
Oh, the song is called Tauhang. It's found in my debut album, and it's the title track, Tauhang. It means rise up. It's all about the lifestyle, the parenthood of African mothers. There's a way that we are raised in Africa. People live there by hunting and gathering, gathering wild fruits, hunting wild animals, It's all about that, trying to talk about traditional lifestyle of Botswana.
Beautiful. Let's hear that, and we'll be right back with Trinity Tauhang we have here with us in the studio. So here we go. And we're listening to Trinity Moletlanyi right here, who's with us here in the studio, a musician now based in Toronto, originally from Botswana. We've been speaking to him about his music, and what a beautiful song that is. Wonderful.
Thank you.
And lots of sounds in there. It does have that real South African kind of feel, but there's a lot of other stuff happening there, isn't it, Joanne?
Yes, there's a lot of things happening, but especially, the message, that the song is all about. What kind of messages would you like people to draw from your music?
What I would love people to know and understand is, music is a way of life, It's a calling, it's a way of living. It defines who we are in every aspect. So they should just take music as it is, We were born and raised, through music. That is the bottom line,
And I think that's a very commonality through all of Africa when you look at music and dance and singing. It's not, a lot of times, it's not even considered something that different or special. Most people grow up in different days, whether there's music and dance for births, for deaths, for all types of ceremonies and rituals of life, and just daily living. There's music for entertainment. There's music that you go out at night and you listen to, which would be completely different than other stuff. So I think that's something that many of the listeners here at Karabuni get this, because that's why they listen. And many of them also from different regions of Africa, musicians in the past have also talked this is a universal message from most Africans, is that this is something that we do, it's something that we're born with, and it's part of our daily life.
Yeah.
Now you have another track we're going to hear here, and I'm very excited to hear this next one, because the CD sounds really great. First of all, you recorded this in Botswana, or where was this CD recorded?
Oh, this CD was recorded back in Botswana and was produced by one gentleman from Zimbabwe. He's called Oscar Chamba, and we had the greatest connections ever. And music, like we have been saying, it brings nations together. Zimbabweans, Canadians, Botswana, South Africa, all are brought in one place in one accord through